I want you to think for a minute about the last time you said, wow. I want to tell you my last time that I said wow. It was a week ago, Thursday morning, to this little tourist island off the coast of Honduras. It's called Roatan. And we went snorkeling over the coral reef that is there. And I put on my face mask, my goggles, and I put in the snorkel tube, and I kind of went down, and the first thing that I thought was, wow. There was all of this beautiful coral that I've only seen in pictures right before my eyes. And this reef went on and on and on. And these beautiful fish, only a time I've ever seen fish like that before was at PetSmart in the fish tank. All of these beautiful colored fish are just swimming in and out of these coral, out of those different sponges. And a coral, as you know, is living. It's a living creature. And so there I am swimming above it, taking this all in. And I looked over and there was a barracuda just swimming not too far away. And we followed the line of the coral, and I looked over on the side, and the coral just drops off into this deep blue abyss. And the water was literally blue. It was absolutely breathtaking. And so I said, wow. Whenever we have a moment where we say, wow, where our breath is taken away because we are overwhelmed and amazed by what has happened, we want to know more, don't we? We become curious. Our mind, our whole being kind of opens up to take in whatever experience it is that we are having. We want to learn more. We want to experience more. We want to take it all in. And that's a good thing. However, as human beings, we can't. When I was swimming over that coral, I was so taken by what I could see. The vastness of the ocean, the privilege to be able to do that, this wonderful, beautiful, natural world that was buried beneath the surface of the water. And the vastness of that, I couldn't possibly understand it all. Our minds cannot take it all in. And so the first reading taken from the Book of Wisdom basically says that. It says, the vastness of God, the wonder of God is so majestic we cannot possibly understand what God is all about. We cannot fully comprehend God. It even goes on to say, we don't fully understand ourselves or our world or our life here. And isn't that true? Think for a moment of the things in your life or my life that really we don't understand. Maybe you see a beautiful sky when you go outside of the city and it's full of stars. And you say, wow. You can't comprehend. You just kind of stand there in awe. Or maybe you're in love and the one whom you love inspires you to say, wow. Maybe when you hold your child for the first time, and you say, wow, you cannot possibly understand the fullness of that experience. But of course, there are other things that we have that are not so happy, that also are too much for us to take in. Things that we struggle with. When people who begin life or begin a relationship in love, and that love dies in divorce, we don't always understand why that happens. Or somebody who is perfectly healthy drops dead with a heart attack. We don't know why that happens. Or why some people and groups and cultures are mired in cycles of violence and addiction and can't seem to get out of it. It's too big for us to comprehend. We have all sorts of experiences like that. These are big and vast ones, but then there are smaller ones. Like, for example, I don't understand why every time I'm in a rush, I get every red light on the road. And I'm stuck behind the train that goes across the street down here. Every single time I'm trying to get back here, guaranteed. I don't know why that happens. I don't know. It's a mystery. My point is that in life is all about mystery. And one of the truths of our life is this. Life is complicated. It's complex. It is not easy and simple and straightforward. And anybody with any understanding of science will tell you that. The readings today invite us to enter into the mystery of all of this. And yet, sometimes we kind of cheat ourselves because we fail to appreciate it. I think sometimes in our church we've done that. We've kind of, I don't know if we've dumbed things down, or we've told people, don't think about things, just follow the rules. Just follow along. Or there are political and ideologies and philosophies that will tell you that life is black and white. And it's not. It's varying shades of gray. I mean, obviously there are some things that we can all agree on. But life is complicated. It's complex. Everything is complex. That's the way God created it. So let's not be fooled by any teaching or any person that says, oh, it's all pretty simple, just do this and put it into these categories. We're smarter than that. God has given us an incredible life in a world mired in complexity that it is ours to come and understand. And yet in the gospel today, Jesus acknowledges that, doesn't he? He's talking about discipleship, and he's kind of saying some pretty drastic things. He says you got to hate your mom and your dad and your brothers and your sisters if you're going to follow me. I mean, he's using hyperbole to make a point here. Jesus would never say hate everybody and follow me. That's no philosophy. But what else does he say? He says if you're going to build a tower, which of you wouldn't sit down and calculate the cost and figure out what you needed to build that tower? Or who doesn't go into a battle and kind of assess their enemy and make sure that they've got the proper forces to defend themselves or defeat their enemy? That would be foolish. Jesus is saying today, if you and I are going to take the name Christian, then you and I have an obligation to understand what that name means. There's no room in our faith for people who are lukewarm. There's no room in our church, or there shouldn't be room for people who just kind of go along, with everybody else without thinking about what it means. What does it mean to be a follower of Christ? We are to sit down and calculate the cost. Figure out, what does it mean? What are the implications for my Christian life in my life? Look at your relationships. I look at mine. Look at our possessions and what we do with our time. Does it lead us towards one another and towards God, or does it lead us away? Jesus is saying, let's wake up, everybody, and take stock and think about things. Use the mind God gave you to think. What does it mean to be Christian? And then make your choices accordingly. He doesn't want a bunch of automatons. He wants intelligent followers, using the mind that God gave them. Now, some of you, we haven't always done this well. There's some of you in this church that will remember a time when all you had to do to be Catholic was do what? You did what Father told you, right? How many people remember that? Several people. That was kind of what we did. And I'm not going to knock that, I mean, it'd be nice if some of you listen once in a while now. But there was a time when we were encouraged, just follow along. And I think there's some beautiful, it was a beautiful faith, don't get me wrong. However, I'm not sure that's in keeping with what this gospel says. Now today we have another problem. Now today we have a problem where a lot of people no longer care what religion says. Religion is antiquated. It doesn't speak to my reality anymore, so they don't think about religion either. Now we've kind of gone the other way, and we're still not thinking about what it means. Jesus says, think about what it means. Take your faith seriously. Calculate the cost. What is it going to mean for you to follow the gospel? What does it mean for me? And know what you're getting into. Don't be lukewarm. Be involved. Think. Think and pray and ask for God's wisdom to give our minds the knowledge that we need. And then give us the grace to act upon them.